Hi, I'm Ayobola. Nice to meet
Nice to
you.
meet you. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I mean, the day hasn't really started, so nothing has happened.
Can you see that?
I can see.
Hi.
Hello.
Call me Chika.
You sorry. You're what?
Call me Chika. I'm
Call
Chika.
me. Hi, I'm Ayo. Nice to meet you.
Hello, I'm Nayu.
Hi, Nayu. I'm Ayo. Nice to meet you. I'm so sorry again. I was late. I did.
No
Yeah,
problem.
it was a mix-up. I'm so sorry. Nice to meet you. Okay, we're here.
Okay, we would like to ask you some questions about your work. And first, I would like to ask you about the title of your work. You said
Yeah.
Aja Confessional, and we are wondering what is Aja? Is it the name of person or is it the name of place?
Okay, so it's the name of not a person, more like a being. So the works that I sent for the exhibition, they're part of Real Housewives. So Oyo is a place in Nigeria. It's a state. My mom she was from there. And it's said to be one of the oldest Yoruba states in Western Nigeria. And I started that series as sort of a way of exploring Yoruba goddesses in Yoruba cosmology. A lot of the myths and stories around goddesses in Yoruba cosmology are very different from the stories around Yoruba gods. Yoruba god stories are almost always around how powerful they are and adventures they went on. But for the goddesses, it's more, petty things like, who slept with whose husband and who got into a fight with who. And I remember thinking, these female figures are so powerful. It's ridiculous that these are the only stories we know about them. So I started reimagining them as cast members in like a reality TV show. So Aja is actually the goddess of the forest. She's the goddess of herbal medicine. And so she's often she never fully reveals herself until you've earned the right to meet her. And one of her prevailing myths is when you want to learn to be a herbalist and you want to learn how to work with plants, you have to go into the forest and keep walking until you get lost and you surrender to the possibility you might never be found. And then if she deemed you worthy, she will come and fetch you and teach you and guide you out when you're done learning. So Aja is actually kind of a person.
I see. Oh, thank you so much. So Aja is in the
She's the
mythology,
she's the goddess of
the
forest in Yoruba mythology. Yes.
Okay, thank you. And so also we are thinking that we are so impressed by the big eyes of your work. And what does I think it's very emphasized in the face.
Yes.
And what does the eyes express in your work?
I think that the eyes for me, it's a kind of like vulnerability. Because I think a lot of times when you're talking to people, their mouths might be saying one thing, but the eyes completely different. I think the eyes are the most honest part of a person's face. And it's often the best way to understand what a person is not saying. So I always like to emphasize the eyes as an expression of that vulnerability. And in some of my paintings, you'll even see that my characters will have one eye instead of two. And it's a way of expressing distress. It's a way of expressing that even though the image is beautiful and it's cute and you think it's a lovely image, it's a way of expressing something is very wrong. with the image or with the character. So emphasizing the eyes, it's almost like it's an expression of distress in a way. I want people to look beyond what they're seeing.
Yeah, because like in Japan, like traditionally there is a kind of a monster with one big eye.
One eye,
Yeah. For Japanese visitors, it seems like a monster, like a very cute monster. Like for example, like a Monsters Inc. character.
Yes, like a
Yeah,
monster, like a cyclops in Greek
yeah.
mythology.
So for some visitors, like it has the impression of like a human being, but at the same time, it's a very like cute monstrous.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Because I mean,
people said your girls like Japanese manga.
I've heard that
Big eyes and
before.
white point.
I've heard that before because I didn't actually encounter any like manga or anime till I was in university. So
yeah,
I find it very interesting. People see that influence in the work. Yeah, I find that very interesting. Thank you. Oh, they're so cute. Look at them.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at them behind you.
And we had some like talking show in front of your work, and some people said like girls of your work are very cute and like looks very happy, but at the same time like they seem to be like something like they have like something like sad or some problems inside, and the big eyes, and also like small mouth.
The little mouth, yes.
They want to say something, but perhaps they cannot say, and so like they are hiding like with flowers, like officially. But like inside they have something like very heavy, but they cannot say out. So
exactly, yes.
That exactly.
I think that comes across in all of my work, regardless of what body of work it is. Because I think even the material I like to use, I like using paper because it's such a common material. People don't expect to see the way I use it. Because often when people see my work, they start this process of trying to understand what they're looking at. And they often quite shocked to learn that it's paper. So I think it's sort of, I don't want to say it's deceptive, but there is a bit of a bait and switch where people see the beauty and the cuteness and they are drawn to that and they're already engaged before they realize nothing I'm talking about is actually cute or happy or beautiful. I think a lot of my work is about helping people reconsider the face value of what they're looking at. So I think that's a pretty accurate reading. The colors are beautiful. It's happy, but they're very sad, actually.
Yeah. Your works have layers. So that's why I like your works.
Thank you. Thank you.
And also like you continue to use the techniques of quilling.
Yes.
Papers. And why did you choose that technique? Is it familiar with you for a long time, or?
When I started with the technique, I didn't choose it. It was actually a mistake. And I know artists are supposed to be geniuses who do everything on purpose, but that isn't true. It was a mistake. Someone handed me a flyer, and I rolled up the flyer. So when I looked at it from the top, it had the coils in it. And I remember thinking, if I could glue this down and I had a lot of it, what would that look like? And so I went out, I bought a bunch of papers and I cut them up and I just tried out the idea. And I knew I had found something interesting. I think it wasn't until I almost finished my first ever piece that I'm like, surely someone else has figured this out. And then I went online and I learned what I was doing was called quilling. I had no idea it was called quilling. when I started. And I think it shows because a lot of traditional quilling techniques I don't really use. Like I have no loyalty to them because it's not how I discovered the practice. And I think I really enjoy wrestling with the material. I think it's why I still work with the technique. I think it's like quilling is like it's like wrestling a toddler and a puppy mixed in one. You can tell it what to do and maybe it will listen, but then it will change its mind, and different papers behave very differently. And I just really enjoy looking for the limits of the material and what it can do. And I also think because as an art student, I really struggled with painting. I found the idea that you could mix any color very stressful. It's too much choice. With paper, I'm always going to be confined by the material, what I can find and what is accessible. And, ironically, I like struggling against that cage and that limitation. And my fascination with the material, I don't see it ending anytime soon. Or at least with the technique, because I've quilled with other things before, like canvases, I've quilled with ribbons, I've tried quilling with like metal here. But the technique, I really enjoy it.
And the quilling is like, you can make their like 3-dimensional. It's not like paint,
Yeah,
like very
exactly.
but so I think like it's very appropriate with what you want to express, because in the depths you can see the eyes, and it's 3-dimensional.
And
So
then
the first layer you can see the flowers and cute things, but in the depths you can see something like heavy
something
and
else.
hard. So like the 3-dimensional technique of quilling makes that layers in the work. So it's interesting for me.
Thank you. Thank you. I think I agree. Thank you. Yeah, it does offer quite a bit of room. And I really like how it also it's like a virus. It's not alive, it's not dead. It's not a painting, it's not a sculpture. It's very in between and has room to be both and neither at the same time, which I quite like.
It's very interesting to listen
Yeah.
to.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
I send you photos of exhibition.
Yes, please do.
Yes.
Please do. I'd love to see. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Thanks. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Enjoy your day. Bye.
Nice day.